Todd is great and he is always baked. Morning sun shining, we can't be late. Coffee brewing, tunes on the go. Knock knock, it's the Todd and Joe morning show.
Knock, knock, knock. What the fuck is up, Todd?
Hi, Joe.
How we doing, buddy?
Well.
You're doing well.
How are you?
You know what? It's so we have taken upon ourselves. So we're gonna start recording episodes a week of ahead time. So this is actually a Tuesday morning right now. So I feel like I've had a long week because I've worked all weekend, and then I had one day off, which I got mandated into, and then I go back into work tonight. But I start vacation this weekend, so
Oh, that's a perfect weekend to start vacation.
Bro, my vacation week is awesome. First weekend is Rumble. Second weekend is Super Bowl. I think I prefer this over getting Christmas off. This is great. And so by this point, by this point, Royal Rumble will actually be over. By the time this airs. So there'll be no point in telling everybody to tune in tonight on Wrestle Fandom Radio to watch the Royal Rumble drawing.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun though. I'm excited for this.
But as I was explaining to Todd earlier, the AI app I was using to create new bangers from old bangers, for some reason, is no longer allowing me to do that. So Todd and I came up with the idea to combine Urban Dictionary with Bangin Bangerz. So now we have Bangin Dictionary.
Yeah.
And so the first term that I looked up, well, I went to the random one, and the first one that really caught my eye was stink pants. Okay. And stink pants is a noun. And it's a person who's acting like a jerk, saying things that are rude and offensive, being lazy and selfish, intentionally trying to upset other people. See, I always thought that was called a Garrett. You're supposed to hit the soundboard there.
Oh, sorry. I forgot I had
I'm going to rewind. I'm rewinding real quick. I always thought that was called a Garrett.
Give it to me. I'll take all of it. It's amazing.
So the examples that were given were, wow, my rooster was being a real stink pants all afternoon.
Those fucking roosters, man. I'll get you every time.
What crawled up your cross, stink pants? And then even though the baby made brown, Mari was still being the biggest stink pants. And so thank you, Anastasia Beaverhausen. You posted that on December 18th, 2007. So without further ado, I am going to give
it to me,
the banger of stink pants. This is called the Stink Pants Anthem.
In a world where kindness fades away, you strut around like it's all okay. With your cold word, you throw your shade. Stink pants, your charm has decayed. Why you gotta be so cruel? Playing the selfish fool. Stink pants, can't you see this isn't the way to be? Lift your eyes from the ground. There's love waiting to be found.
All right, I can't think anymore of that. It's awful.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's super, super awful. So that's the Stink Pants Anthem, guys.
You know what might actually make that better?
What?
If you go on down to Joe's Buds and buy a copious amount of flour and concentrate and edibles and just did it all at once, then
Where do I go? Where do I go to do that?
it depends on where you're looking. If you're going on Google, I believe it says 56 or 4658 Onondaga Boulevard. If you go to Joe's Buds website, you can see it down here, joesbudsny.com. They have 4656.
But it all takes you to the same like plaza area, right?
It's right by a Wegmans behind a barbecue joint called like
Limp
Lickin'
Lizard.
Limp Lizard, yep.
It's Limp Lizard.
I think Lickin' Lizard is a cool name for a fucking barbecue.
That
spot.
reminds me of like a punk band from like the mid-90s.
It's Lickin' Lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go get a lot of stuff from them and just do it all
Okay.
at once, that
Right.
song probably will still not be tolerable, but
Yeah.
you will be
That was pretty
really fucked up.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll just forget the whole thing ever happened.
Hey.
That was
So what else do you got for us, Todifer?
well, you know, it's
Blowing dynamite.
T-Odd News, where the useless news comes first.
yeah. All right. A Chinese fitness influencer broke a Guinness World Record, surprise, when she completed 44 pull-ups in 1 minute.
And how long?
1 minute. Zai Ting, 44, earned the female version of the title for the most pull-ups in 1 minute when she officially attempted the record in Guangdong. That's right, Guangdong. She took the title from American athlete Inga Simming, who did 39 pull-ups in 1 minute in 2022. Even though I broke the record, I feel there's still room for improvement. Next time, I'll go for an even higher score, she told Guinness World Records.
Wow.
It's a
she's
lot.
cocky.
I'd die after like 10.
I don't even know. I don't even think I can do one pull right now. My shoulders are so
yeah.
fucked.
I'm just old, not a shape.
Round
Some
is a shape,
iPhones-
Todd. Round is a shape.
Round is a shape. Some iPhones with the TikTok app, which is currently unavailable at the Apple and Google app stores, are fetching
It's
big
back now.
bucks. Is it? Well,
Yeah, it was only down for 12 hours. But it also affected that Marvel Snap game that me, Garrett, and Drew play because their distribution company is owned by the same company as TikTok. So TikTok was only gone for 12 hours. The Marvel Snap game was gone for like 3 days.
no, you cannot on like Google. You cannot get TikTok right now.
Huh.
It was like down and back up, but getting it from like an actual like Apple or Google Play Store.
Oh,
is
so it must be
still-
if you already had it, you already had it.
Exactly, yes.
Gotcha.
So yeah. Blah, blah, blah. The video sharing platform returned for US users on Sunday and Monday, but smartphone users who deleted the app during its brief ban have been able to reinstall it due to its ongoing absence from the Apple and Google app stores. Some iPhone owners who didn't delete the app are now selling their devices on eBay, with some asking thousands of dollars for the phones. At least 2 iPhones listed as containing the app were sold after being listed for $10,000, but it was unclear what sum was actually paid by the buyers, as the completed listings note best offer accepted. One iPhone was sold after 2 bids of a price of $3,100. Multiple other ongoing listings are attempting to sell TikTok-enabled phones for prices ranging from $100 to $35,000. With one optimistic seller listing an iPhone 15 with TikTok and CapCut, a video editing app with the same Chinese parent company as TikTok, asking $4.9 million.
Did anybody buy it?
It didn't say. It just says there's ongoing listings. But speaking of TikTok, if you do have it, I believe that I was informed that our network now has a TikTok. Is that correct, Mr. Stones, if you're nasty?
Yes. I was like, wait, what happened? I got super
Is it
confused.
something
It's
you
like,
know that's running it? Like, come on, Joe.
yes.
What are you,
So,
some kind of
hang
reefer
on.
head?
Let me find it. It is.
And that's actually how I knew about the whole fucking like TikTok thing, because I was like, well, fuck it. If we've got it, I want to watch our reels. Let me go there. And no.
Yeah.
So I just
So
watched my
it
YouTube.
is at Niche Nerd Network.
Okay. Like
Uh,
the YouTube.
Yep. And it's ran by my I refer to him as my nephew, who's at SUNY Oswego studying film. He's been like chopping up episodes, making reels on Facebook, on putting them on TikTok, putting the reels on YouTube and everything. And so yeah, he's got a couple on all the little short ones on the platforms. I know people are seeing them because the shorts have a couple hundred views on them.
I saw
which
we
is
got
great.
one more subscriber. We're up to 104.
Yeah. So like, you know, it slowly but surely, baby steps. We love and support, or love all the support you guys give all of us and all these little endeavors and everything that we do.
Yeah. There's
Pretty
one of
awesome.
us that's like 381 views on YouTube.
Yeah. It's
We're
pretty
awesome.
awesome.
We're going to take
So-
the internet by storm.
I mean, we're kind of more like a drizzle right now. And
Hey,
I'm
you know,
okay with
see,
it.
it's that kind of attitude that's not going to create us into like a big, beautiful storm cloud that wipes out part of Florida.
See, I don't want to wipe out Florida. I just want to get it a little wet and, you know, kind of cool it off a little bit, make it a little wet. And you know, sometimes when it's hot, you need something to kind of cool you off. And that's what we are, Todd. We're that light
True.
breeze in the afternoon in July when it's been like 95 out and it just trickles up your back and you feel the little quick shiver up your spine and you take a deep breath in and you realize, like, fuck, man, I'm alive. I'm here. This is life. That's what we are. So we'll get there, buddy. It's only it's January, man. Summertime's a long ways away. We'll get there.
See, that's not what I want to hear right now.
Oh, that's what this is telling me right now.
Springtime needs to be here now. This winter shit, I'm over it. Like, we're supposed to get more snow, and then more snow, and cold.
Like the kids had a 2-hour delay today.
We're supposed to get more snow tonight, and then I think more snow on Friday. So, I don't know. But we have TikTok.
And that is our weekly weather update for Central New York.
Yeah, if you're ever wondering how much it sucks. All right, we got two more. Two
All right.
more. Another Guinness World Record, because that just seems to be what fucking odd news is anymore. But a lot of them are weird, so I can't really say that it's not out of the norm. A
Right.
Kentucky teenager with a talent for solving a type of puzzle known as a 15 puzzle broke a Guinness World Record by solving 10 of them in 1 minute, 16.13 seconds. John Bradley, a senior at some school in Lexington, said he started solving 15 puzzles in the middle school. The puzzles featuring sliding tiles numbered 1 through 15, and the solver has to arrange them in numerical order. It's almost like a mosaic, but
Yeah.
not as cool. Bradley said he started out on a digital version of the puzzle that was installed on the computers he used in middle school and soon developed a talent for solving them, even participating in competitions as a speed slider.
Speed slider. Speed slider.
There's probably a definition on fucking Urban Dictionary for that word. Through my searches, through my competitions and stuff like that, I figured out that this Guinness World Record actually kind of seems breakable, Bradley told Lex 18 News. I started practicing for like 4 months straight. I was just doing a few of these every single day. The record to beat for speed solving 10 puzzles was 1 minute, 23 seconds. Bradley smashed the record with a time of 1 minute, 16.13 seconds. Honestly,
there is nothing on Urban Dictionary.
You figured it'd be some kind of sexual move, but I guess not. Honestly, it's unbelievable. Honestly, it's unbelievable. It's kind of crazy. When I was younger, I never thought that this would happen. This is kind of insane, Bradley said. Go back to Kentucky.
He sounds like such a dork.
It's true. And this last one, I hold on. I have a video for here.
Ooh.
This comes from China. Customers and stylists at a barbershop in China were left scrambling for an exit when a cow pushed its way through the door. And Ro used to see that and ran through the small shop. Footage recorded at the barbershop in some place in China shows the cow pushing the door open and running into the shop, bumping into multiple pieces of furniture and sending customers in their salon capes rushing for the door. The cow eventually calms down and stands placidly at the corner awaiting capture. The cow was reported to have become agitated when being loaded into a truck and fled from its owner, ending up in the shop. The bovine's owner was fined about $137 for failing to control the animal. It's a really random fine.
Well, talk about a good cut of beef.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Nope. There we go.
Jesus Christ.
Give it to me.
See, the funny thing is, when you played that, I was like, I bet you that's how Garrett farts.
What? This?
Yeah.
Probably. Or something like this. Oh, wrestling.
So tune in every Tuesday.
So I know you had a pretty crazy weekend, so I don't know if you ended up doing the thing the two truths and a lie.
Oh yes, I did actually.
Sweet.
I did come up with them. So I came up with a bunch of different ones to tell and which ones not to tell. A bunch of lies, a bunch of good truths. So I'm gonna throw it out there.
Do it.
All right. The first one is when I was 9, I lived on the beach in a house on the Mediterranean Sea. Oh, so here's something else. So then I'm gonna give you 3 questions, 1 question for each statement to get more so you can try to get details to try to see if I'm lying or not. Okay, but let me give you all 3 first. Okay. The second, my father, when we were stationed in Japan, he worked with Tyra Banks' brother. And the third one I had thought to use. Oh, my father, right before we moved from New York to Turkey, he was had an award ceremony, and Bill Clinton gave him an award.
The house on the Mediterranean. What color was it?
Yeah, white. It, like cement. They're all the houses and everything there is like built with cement. So it was like a white gray cement house.
What did your dad do for work that he would have worked with Tyra Banks' brother?
Well, Tyra Banks' brother was enlisted in the Air Force. And my dad was a civilian who negotiated contracts for the Air Force. So he worked for the Air Force, and her brother that he, I don't know, worked in the same profession, I'm guessing.
I don't know if I really have a question about the Bill Clinton one because Bill Clinton. It's unquestionable, man.
Right. I did
Um,
not have sexual relations with that woman.
I feel like just because like every time you like have told something like a story of like your youth, it's been shit where I'm like, wow, I can't. That's fucking crazy. So I'm gonna say the first two are truths and the last one's a lie.
So, well, all of them were from my youth, really. But so you're saying which one was a lie?
The Bill Clinton one.
You nailed it. Yeah. You got it. The house, it was Tajay. So when we lived in Turkey, going west about an hour was this smaller city called Mersin, but that was like right on the Med. And about 15 minutes past that is like the small like coastal town called Tajay. And it's like essentially just summer homes. And yeah, we had a house right there on the beach. And yeah, I don't know anything else about the dude or anything. I think I met him once, but like it was Tyra Banks' brother. Like that's, and my dad actually did get awards and stuff. And honestly, as far as I know, he wasn't given an award from Bill Clinton, but like it was
It's
around
not out
that.
of the question.
Like it could have happened. I'm pretty almost positive he didn't, but he definitely got awards from different higher up military officials and stuff like that. And it was like the Bill Clinton era was when we were like overseas and everything too.
Oh, see? I pay attention to you, Joe.
You
in
do.
more ways than you know.
Go on.
Oh. Well, it's not fun if it's not frightening you. Fuck off. All right. So here's a couple things, and let's see what you can gather.
Okay.
When I was in high school, I took swing dance lessons.
Okay.
I'm going to pre-reference it with it's going to sound a lot worse than it is. I got arrested when I was 15 for endangering the welfare of a child.
Mm-hmm.
Or, let me see. Hold on. I've never done hard drugs.
So what? Okay. All right. So how old were you when you took swing dancing?
16, 17.
Okay.
Yeah, 16, 17.
Whose child did you endanger?
It was my girlfriend at the time.
Okay. And what was the last one?
I've never done hard drugs.
Okay. What do you define as hard drugs?
Anything that's not like cannabis or cannabis related.
Oh, then the last one's a lie.
You're correct.
Because I knew you told me before you took swing lessons. I knew you got arrested at 15. I knew it had something to do with your girlfriend. So like when you answered, when you said it was your girlfriend, that I knew was true. And you've told me some of the stuff you've done.
Yeah. Oh, way too much opium.
Well, see, and that's what it was. I was like, I think it was a couple episodes ago. You talked about how you went on like a 3-day opium binge, and then when I was like, "So, what do you consider hard?" and you're like,
No.
"Oh, anything." It's yeah, that was easy
Well,
to
anything.
take
I
care
mean,
of.
to be honest with you, really anything above like cannabis is either man-made or whatever. You know, like not natural.
Well,
Mushrooms. I guess
I was gonna
mushrooms.
say,
I
cannabis
would.
and shrooms, I
Yeah.
consider not hard.
Yeah.
Everything
And
else
even
is
though
hard.
opium is like from the poppy plant, it's obviously a
It's
more
refined
whatever
in
drug.
such a way.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so I never told you the story of the arresting.
So I know it happened. I don't know if like you were about to and something came up and we didn't finish the story, or I just don't remember at the moment. But
I'll
if
tell the
you
story.
want to
It's
tell it,
been long enough. It's been fucking. Let's see, I'm 42. It happened when I was 15. So it's been
like 30 years ago,
yeah,
almost.
roughly 27. But so yeah, I was okay. So the school I went to, like the high school and the middle school were just like same building separated by doors. So 7th and 8th grade, 9th through 12th. So I was in 9th grade and I was dating a girl who was in 8th grade that I had on and off dated over, you know, a year or two, regardless. So I knew her, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Obviously, this is back when a time when the marijuana was not legal. That reefer, and not good. Her stepfather was a state investigator or an investigator for the state troopers.
Yes, you told me. Okay, I remember now.
So I told you the whole
You can
story.
Yeah, you can continue telling it because no, you don't want to leave listeners hanging.
That's true. So I always had told her, don't go to like school high. Like the middle school pays a lot more attention, as weird as it is in the high school. Like I went to high school wasted almost every day, never fucking got caught, you know?
Right.
So we were allowed to like, well, I don't know if middle school. No, she came into school high. So she came to school stoned. She had smoked with her friend. They caught her. Back in my day, we didn't have cell phones. So we wrote fucking notes to each other, which now is just obviously the most like incriminating shit in the world. So I had written her a note, you know, like people like that did, blah, blah, blah. And I told her I had 3, these were my words exactly. For being a pothead, I can remember this shit very vividly. I had 3 fat joints I wanted to smoke with her. FAT, not PHAT. So she gets whatever they call her parents, her stepdad, who is a huge dick bag. I mean, like, imagine the biggest bag of dicks, and that's what this dude is. He gives them permission to search her locker, blah, blah, blah. They find the note, and it, you know, I'm an idiot, obviously, and I had signed it because whatever. So they find the note. She doesn't defend me. She's not like, oh, no, it wasn't him, you know, like it was somebody else. No. So that happens. I do not know this happens. Fast forward to later in the day, my buddy had, I don't know what he had taken or done, but he was just in rough shape. So we went to his house. He was like shaking. It was fucking terrible. Where we lived was out in like the suburbs. So we commuted via bike and shit like that. So me and my buddy went there. We're like, oh, maybe it was the weed you smoked. Let's smoke some of it to make sure it wasn't the weed you smoked. So me and him fucking smoke a ball of this shit. We're fine. We just get stoned, whatever. Smoke cigarettes, whatever. So I pack cigarettes and like weed in my cigarette pack. Because that's how the cool kids carried it. And we're actually walking back through the developments to my buddy's house where like my bike was. I don't know why we walked over, but regardless. And my dad pulls up in his van that he had at the time. Like rolls down the window. I'm like, hey, what's up? And he was like, where's your bike? And I'm like, yeah, it's down, you know, at his house, you know. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, getting here right now. And I'm like, have I had trouble? He's like, not yet. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is happening here? So like he took off to go down to get my bike. So I gave my buddy my cigarettes and shit, thank God. And I was like, here you go, dude, you know, like, hold on to this shit for me. You know, he's like, yeah, no problem. So like we get home. And my parents are all upset, and they're like, "Oh, Officer Moore called, and or Investigator Moore called. He wants to talk to you about drugs in the high school." That's what he told my parents. He did not tell them I was getting arrested. He told them he wanted to talk to me about drugs in the high school. My parents both smoked the reefer, so it was a huge thing. Again, 27 years ago, whatever. So we go to the trooper barracks. Remember, I'm high. So we go to the trooper barracks and he takes them in first. So now here's stoned 15-year-old Todd, just troopers fucking everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, this fucking sucks. Like this and that. So they pull me in and I go in. My fucking parents are all like upset and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? They sit down in this big ass fucking leather chair and shit. And like, again, this guy's just a dick. I mean, it just is life as a human. So as at his job, he's just a bigger dick. So he's like, asks these questions, and he has a copy of the note, and he like takes out. He was like, "Does this note look familiar?" And I'm in my head. I'm just like, "Oh, fuck." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Did you write it?" I'm like, I fucking signed it. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I have a warrant for your arrest for endangering the welfare of a child. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and dude, he just fucking started going off. I'm not shitting you when
Aren't you yourself considered a child?
So, like he kept saying over and over again. Now, this was like October. My birthday's in August, so I just turned 15. And he just kept saying, like, if you were 16, I would have been up in that school and you would have been taken out in cuffs. And he kept saying it. And finally, like, after like the fourth time, because I was quiet the whole fucking time. Like, I just sat there. After like the fourth time, I literally was like, dude, stop. I just turned 15. I was like, so please just stop with that. Like, at one point in time, he literally has the law book like 4 inches from my face on like the charges he's hitting me with and shit. And yeah, I'm just like, the fuck am I supposed, so like he hands me the paper for like the court shit. And like I'm reading it. Like I'm literally like reading it, what it says, where I have to get, what the fuck, like I just got served fucking papers, stoned,
right,
to go to family court, for endangering the welfare of a child. I'm like, oh my God. So like, I'm holding the paper and my dad goes to take it. I was reading it still. Like I wasn't, like being a dick. Like I was just still fucking reading the thing. And the guy, the fucking investigator's like, I wouldn't be like that to your father. And I looked at him, I was like, dude, go fuck yourself. And my parents just kind of looked at me and he was like, what'd you say to me? I'm like, dude, I was like, go fuck yourself. And like, I just like walked out. It was on the radio. It was in the newspaper. Like they couldn't use my name because I was a minor. Fucking, dude, like, I'm not shitting you. Literally, the next day, everybody knew.
yeah.
And this happened at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, so, and this again, dude, like, you got to remember, like, yeah, like AIM Messenger was a thing, but like Facebook, MySpace, like social media did not exist, So, but yeah,
somebody
dude, like,
just send out a big group text to everybody.
Exactly. Like, so yeah, I get to school the next day and everybody fucking knew. Everybody fucking knew. And then people weren't allowed to hang out with me. People weren't fucking allowed to like talk to me and shit. Like, I remember it was fucking 90s, so Pop was still like, oh my God. I do remember though, my one buddy who I've been friends with forever lived right down the road from me. His mother came to our house to tell me that she didn't care what anybody said, that people make mistakes, and that no matter what, she would always love me. And I'm always welcome at her house. So that like was the shit. Because like it just, like I said, to go out of your way to actually come to just say like where everybody else was like, fuck that kid, you can't hang out with that kid, you can never fucking go, like she went out of their way to fuck come to my house and be like, fuck them. Like, so yeah, that was that story.
That's crazy.
Thankfully the dude died while ago. So, and honestly, and, you know, that sounds rough, but that made my life hell. Like that literally, like made my life a living. Dude, I had to go to family court. I had to go to fucking counseling for weed.
So
It's like half baked. I'm in here for you. In here for marijuana? You marijuana? They suck
so
dicks.
like, were you convicted on those charges?
Yes,
Oh, so you're a bad boy.
but it's locked away. No one can ever fucking touch it. No one ever. Like nobody. It is gone. Like it's. I mean, technically somewhere, but it is out of reach of anybody ever.
That's crazy.
Why I couldn't use like my youthful offender or whatever the fuck that shit is, I don't know. My parents got a lawyer and people involved, but it just I did see the dude, like I was working at a diner like after high school before I moved up here, and guy came in with his daughter, like the girl I was dating's stepsister.
Mhm.
I'm like, man, this dude looks familiar and shit. Like I can't place it and whatever. It's been only a couple of years. And then he leaves. So the owner, I was sitting there at the diner. I'm like, Bernie. I'm like, who the fuck was that? I was like, I can't think of his name. He's like, oh, it was fucking Kevin Moore. And I'm like, what? And he was like, yeah, I used to be an investigator for the police or whatever. I'm like, what? I went in the back. So I worked with my brother. I was like, I'm it's taking a lot for me not to go out there and just beat the holy fuck out of this dude right now before he like leaves the fucking parking lot. Like I was like, it's taking a lot because like I said, dude, that really did like, you know, fuck my life up. Plus like it put my, you know, parents kind of in jeopardy at shit. You know, my dad could have lost his job, they could have lost the house, like, you know, so I mean it wasn't just like my life was kind of fucked. Like there was also a lot of other repercussions that could have happened because you know, somebody couldn't have just even stood up for me and been like, it wasn't him. Like, I can't tell you who it was, but it definitely wasn't him. She just defended her friend and, you know.
So I'm guessing you guys broke up after that.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, I was always here. Like, this dude was such a dickbag. Like, when you called her house, you had to, like, say, like, hi, this is so-and-so. Is Leah there? Like, if you didn't call and say who you were,
okay, so we definitely did talk about this.
Yeah.
Because you told me that, but my parents were the same way.
Oh, were they?
Like, yeah, it wasn't like they were like assholes like about it. They're just, hey, just when you call here, could you just please, you know, call like say, hey, this is Joe. Can I please talk to Bob?
Joe.
Yeah, like, and then the follow-up question is which Joe? Because my dad's name was also Joe.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, that's that. That's that.
That's
That's
crazy.
it.
All right, so what do we got next?
We got some. Do you have another song?
Yes.
Another song.
Yeah.
Wrap it up with some Carlin quotes.
Okay.
Oh, I do want to talk about something real quick too after the song before the Carlin quotes.
Do we have any Stump Joe?
Oh, we don't this week.
We do or don't?
We don't.
Okay, cool.
But I'll make sure we have some next week. I'm going to write it down. My brain's been all over the place. It's been kind of weird for me lately. So,
all right, so this next one is weed neck. All right.
weed neck, like WEEDNECK.
Yes.
Okay.
A minor class of the species redneck. Habitat structures often mobile in nature, with the upper echelon appropriating dwellings known as a mobile home, and lesser members residing in the more modest recreational vehicles. In both instances, it is culturally appropriate to decorate with Native American iconology, American beer manufacturing signage, and copious amounts of marijuana paraphernalia. Semi-nocturnal, the weed neck will wake from slumber in the early afternoon and begin foraging for a particular favorite herb commonly known as pot, Puff the Magic Dragon, Mary Jane. While not particularly adverse to any form of herb, they're known to shun from the type of known as ragweed. What separates this from the cousin species of stoners the fact that weedneck will often shun the identifying markers of the stoner wood, such as 70s rock apparel and hemp anything, instead focusing more on the rural cultural influences such as Dukes of Hazzard, the outlaw country movement, and NASCAR. Weed.
Fucking love Dukes of Hazzard.
Let's see. I think it's this one. Let's find out. No, that was Stink Pants Anthem. My bad. So I will get rid of you. You are gone!
Deleted.
You are dead to me. Dead. So here is Life of a Weed Neck.
In a trailer park, live wild. Weed necks roam both free and south. Decked out in beer, signs true light. Chasing the sun and the stars at night. Rolling smoke and laughter share. With the ashes. Weed neck living is the way to be. In a mobile home, roam wild and free.
Yeehaw!
I'm young in spring days, big old and soggy, living life like you've never done. Dukes Hazzard on the screen, outlaw fights, living the dream, with the smell of green in the air. These folks know I'll live without care. NASCAR racing down the lane. Life's a ride for joy and pain. Sweet and living, sweet and be. Local home, home out free. Orange earth, the golden sun, living life by you, never done.
Woo!
Yeah.
Life of a Weed Neck.
That was great. I
That was
enjoyed it.
awesome. I liked it.
I did too. So I need to get your opinion on something. How do you feel? How do you feel when I tell you that Scary Movie 6 comes out next year?
So when I saw this news broke, I initially cringed. But then as I read on and saw that Marlon Wayans was coming back for it, it made me feel a little bit better. And if they can get Anna Faris back, like I would be okay with it. Because those first two in particular, I absolutely love.
Okay, so with that being said, I love them too. We got to remember, and this kind of like, there's something that goes along with this, I guess, too. We got to remember, like, when those were made. I know there's been plenty. The last one came out in 2013 because me and my buddy at work were talking about it. So Scary Movie 5 came out in 2013. This comes out next year. So it'd be 13 years since a Scary Movie. So going back to the first two, because they were what? They were late 90s, early 2000s?
Early 2000s. I want to say, yeah. Because I want to say they came out after I graduated.
I can't remember. Well, Scary Movie 1, there was a lot of stuff from like Scream and shit like that, like a lot of spoof shit.
No, Scary. No, yeah. Okay, the first 2000, 2001, and 2003. So the first three came out when I was in high school.
Okay. So I think I watched the fourth one, but I don't think I ever watched the fifth one just because they started to get stupid. And I think the Wayans brothers left around the fourth or fifth one.
I'm looking there. Yeah, the fourth one.
But here's my question, or whatever, is the first few were like a specific style of humor. Could that
Yes.
humor still relate? So here's where I'm going with this, as in Mel Brooks did History of the World Part 1 in 1980 or whatever the fuck it was. They had History of the World Part 2 come out recently, and it was fucking terrible because, unfortunately, that type of humor doesn't translate well anymore. It's not like people are too fucking butthurt about everything, so you have to like tiptoe around shit, and it just isn't the same as it was like 70s, 80s, and 90s where people actually had a sense of humor. So could they use that same style of humor and still get a good reaction, or would they have to do something different to fit in more with the time?
So I get what you're saying, and I completely agree with what you say about History of the World. But I think if you are going to commit to doing it like the originals, you have to commit to do it like the originals. You can't pussyfoot around. You have to be like, all right, fuck it. We're just gonna offend everybody.
Yeah.
Which I feel like the Wayans are some of the few comedians that are left from the old guard who could possibly get away with it a little bit more so than like your newer comedians. Like, you got to remember, these are the guys who gave us White Chicks. Like, so like some of the most like
shit.
Right. Like, it's, I feel like you have to commit to it, but like they haven't. So I believe Anna Faris and the Wayans haven't been apart since Scary Movie 3.
Yeah.
Those original 3. And
yeah.
So with them coming back for 6, I hope they get Anna Faris back.
I think she would. I don't really see a reason she wouldn't. She's done other shit.
Yeah.
It's not like she hasn't done anything, or has become.
Well, yeah, it's funny too. So like that first one came out in 2000, and that's the movie series that made her career. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so now it's 25 years later, stepping back into the role that made you famous. It's kind of funny because it's technically like a horror movie. It's very similar to Jamie Lee Curtis coming back to Laurie Strode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm down for it. And even if they do have to do it a new way, just make it funny. Like do what you guys do.
The thing. Because I haven't seen much from them lately. Just, not that I don't think they've done it. Right. So it's like sometimes as people get older and get wiser, have kids, family, etc., like their shit changes just because they don't want people being like, oh, like their kids being like, I can't believe, it's one thing if they stumble on some in living color or whatever, like, yeah, it was fucking 30 years ago or whatever, but like, so it's like, are they still the same Wayans brothers? Do they still have that let's offend everybody type of sense of humor? Or have they toned it back maybe because they have grown up, they have gotten older, wiser, more experienced, families, etc., etc.? So like that's the other thing too. Is
it
that
could be like Chappelle. It could be like Chappelle, and he's grown up, but he's just offending you in a more grown up way.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like it could. I'm down for it. Like I liked those original 3 Scary Movies. All those other parody movies I really weren't a huge fan of. But like I feel like those OGs can come back and do it right and do it justice,
Yeah. There's another one that I fucking watched. It was great. I think it was like fuck was it, like Scream If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th?
Yes, with
Dude, that one was
Amber
fucking.
Thiessen.
Yeah, dude, that one was the shit. Like, I fucking love that one.
It's got a Doofy in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking him and a vacuum cleaner in his room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was fucking great. So, but no, I just figured I'd ask. I know you're
I'm
into
down for it.
movies and such. So, it's something, again, that is from, like, yeah, I was 17 when that came out, so
Right.
it's like something that's been there for a while, that I did thoroughly enjoy, the original one. So fingers crossed. All right. We got some Carlin quotes and we be out this bitch.
All right.
This first one, right off the bat, fuck rational thought.
I'm down for it.
My advice, just keep moving straight ahead. Every now and then you find yourself in a different place. This one's a little lengthy one, but it's kind of the truth. Government wants to tell you things you can't say because they're against the law, or you can't say this because it's against the regulation, or here's something you can't say because it's a secret. You can't tell him that because he's not clear to know that. Government wants to control information, control language, because that's the way you control thought. And basically, that's the game they're in.
He really had such a great mind.
He did. I want to say somewhere, too, that I saw that government, like, comes from, like, the Latin term of, like, govern your mind.
Oh, shit.
I don't know how true that is, but
Right.
I did see that. I mean, it's possible. Seems like a lot of words, when you break them down to, like, Latin, they come out to be shit that you're like, oh, fuck. If you had yourself cloned, who exactly would be your parents? Can you raise yourself? I guess so. And it might be fun. Just think, by the age of 6, you'd be driving yourself to school.
That's so weird.
The future will soon be a thing of the past.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a good one I saw at fucking SpongeBob once, where Squidward says something about, like, why do today what I could put off until tomorrow? And Mr. Krabs is like, but what is tomorrow but yesterday's today? I was like, damn straight. And the last one, best piece of advice ever. Joe, I want you to live by this. Get it tattooed on you if you need to. But here we go. Never approach a crying woman entering a sports bar carrying a harpoon gun.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the best advice for the day.
I will walk in the opposite direction.
I will run like fuck. Like, I'm not, no. I mean, first of all, if I saw anybody just carrying around a fucking harpoon gun in public, let alone going into a small confined area like a bar, I'm definitely steering clear of that whole probably town or city for a while.
Yeah.
Some bad shit's about to go down. I mean, if you get a perfect line, you could probably take out a few people in one shot with a fucking harpoon gun.
Something tells me the crying woman's not trying to take out a line of people. I think she's aiming for one person or one person's balls.
I mean, that's extreme.
Bitches be cray cray. Cray 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 cray. Ooh. Ooh. All right.
You are correct. All right.
Tuesdays, Wrestle Fandom Radio live on Facebook and YouTube. Mondays, typically, sometimes not, depending. Follow the Facebook page for the Todd and Joe Morning Show to find out when we will release an episode that week.
Yes. I've caught back up with Spotify. So, and when we're done with this, I'll actually do everything so it's ready to go on Spotify. So
ready to go. You fucking hell.
Whoa. Hey, whoa.
And remember, if you need some greenery, go to Joe's Buds on a Boulevard, Syracuse. Go get the good stuff. I am Mr. Stones if you're nasty.
I'm Napoleon Dynamite. See, I got it twice that time.
Wow. See how talented he is?
Skill.
Give it to me. I'll take all. Give it to me. Give it to me. I'll take all of it. I'll take all of it. Just give it to me. I'll take all of it. Just give it to me. I'll take all of it. Just give it to me.